Hello and welcome to the Kingdom Visionary Show. Today we have a very, very special guest today. We have Patty Gottschalk with us. She is an author, an amazing author, and she has a new series out called Explore with God series. So it's a children's book series, but I'm not going to go too deep into the series. I'm going to let her talk about this book series. It's actually a prelude to a much bigger project that she has going on. But anyway, I'm going to stop talking and giving you her resume. I'm going to let this wonderful woman of God tell you about herself and what she's got going on. Go ahead,
All
Patty.
right. Thank you, Nicole, and thanks for having me on here. This is exciting. We got our technology to work.
I know. Finally.
So, so I'm Patty Gottschalk, and I'm an experienced designer. That's how I'm geared. I've been this way my whole life. I had a career in event planning and fundraising, but there's been a project on my heart since I was 14 years old that I've been working on for quite some time. But in the meantime, I have written a series of books called it's the Explore with God series, and it's here. I'll show you. My book just came out right here, and hot off the press. This is the first of 7 in this series, and it's a fun series where a child gets to go with actually with Jesus in and out of the Garden of Eden to the found. And in this book, in future books, they go to the foundation of the world, the storehouses of snow, for a walk in the deep, a lot of fun things. But this is just, it's a sweet book for children to just see what it's like to be with God, really. And Nicole, do you mind if I share a few things about the book?
No, yeah, go ahead. I'd
Okay.
love to have you do that.
So when I was a kid, I used to love to lay in the green grass. I grew up in the Northwest, so I used to love to lay in the green grass and look up at the clouds, and I'd see all these different shapes. So in my book, they're laying in the Garden of Eden. Here's one image where they're looking up at the clouds, and the clouds take on the shapes of sailing ships and fields of sheep, and Jesus is telling the child with him that he speaks to him through the sky, through the clouds, and he's always speaking to him in his creation. And so here's one example. And then he takes them on all kinds of adventures. And one of the things they do is they ride horses. They ride really fast on horses through the tall grass that's waving in the wind, and they laugh and they just have a great time doing that. And so they have all kinds of adventures. They in the garden, they get to see all the things that were planted. They play with the animals. Here's a picture of an image of some of the animals that they get to go up to, and they're not scary. They're fun, and they have a good time. And then there are lessons in the books where God is speaking to us always in creation, and he takes a child by a pool of water, and the sun is shining on the water, and you know how it is when you look on the water and you see what looks like a sea of diamonds. And so he shows him what looks like diamonds on the water, and he says, this is what I put these here to show you how much I value you. And that shows him how important he is to God. And then there's another point where it's getting late, it's dark. They look up at the sky, and they see, you can't really probably see it in this image, but there's a zillion stars, and he shows them a zillion stars and says, this, I named every one of these stars, and you are more important to me than all of them put together.
Oh,
So
amen.
so that's basically, that's part of what happens in this book and on this adventure.
Mhm.
And
So, okay, so you have a series of books, children's books, and Each series has different adventures that they're going on, right?
Right.
Correct? And this kind of ties back into your larger project that you have coming soon, right?
Yeah, that's